the Jets played an important role in my career. I wasn't here for a great deal of time, but it was a little bit of a crossroads for myself. I'd been in the UK for a little while, and I guess you could call it a little bit of a failed sort of trial. Yeah, I was in need of, I guess, a little bit of a reset in terms of football, and at the time it was gave me a little bit of a lifeline, and I think things operated a little bit differently then to what they do now. I think we did the negotiations, in a little office above Parklea Markets, but it turned out to be a very, very important time in my footballing career. As I said, it wasn't for a long time, but that sort of set me on my way again in terms of an upward trajectory in my career.
It's off the woodwork and Milligan turns it over the line. Mark Milligan has his first international goal.
I have been very fortunate to play under some wonderful managers, and obviously there's a few, like all players, that probably stand out more than others, and definitely some coaches you take more from. I think from a footballing perspective, you're always learning, you're always taking information. I think the biggest thing that I learnt, probably from the likes of Ange and later on in my career, Van Marwijk, something that really stood out to me and probably really drives me now was their commitment to their trade. I think the work ethic was second to none, and their belief in what they were teaching. I think you hear a lot in football, there's no sort of right or wrong, and to a degree, I definitely believe that, but I think most importantly with coaches like Ange and with coaches like Van Bommel and Van Marwijk, they believed in what they were teaching, in the way that they saw the game. And like I said, from a footballing perspective, my views probably differ a little bit to that, but I have an unwavering belief in what I want to achieve. I've always been good at being given directions, and I'm very excited now to be the one to lead. It's something that I've been preparing for a long time. My coaching journey, really started 5 years ago, but my interest and my desire in this pathway began a lot longer, a long time before that. Naturally, I want to play an attacking, exciting sort of brand of football. I want my teams to be compact. I want them to be on the front foot, but I think most importantly, it's the environment that we're going to create around your day-to-day. I want to make sure that every one of our players is a better player. I want to see the best version of themselves every day. It was something that drove me throughout my career, that desire and that hunger to continuously improve, and I want to create that environment where the players, the staff, always want more. I think it's just important that we recognise the journey that has begun. I want to be able to support the Maverick Sports Partners in continually growing this club. I think it's an exciting time. I saw it firsthand throughout my process in terms of interviewing and discussions about what this club looks like going forward. I've always been big on, I want to make sure that when my tenure does begin, we come in and we show people what we want to do. We show people the direction that we're heading in. So for all the talk that everyone is going to hear from me, I think everything will become quite clear once we sort of get on the ground and start working. Now it's very much about evaluating the squad, looking at sort of who's on contract, who's coming out of contract, and then being diligent in the way that we look to bolster the squad. An important part of what myself and my staff are going to do is we're going to have to spend time through the academy space, really getting a handle on who's coming through. We need to make sure that we're utilising the players that we have at the club, but we're also providing a platform for them to not only just to come through, but to become better players. I think another massive point to that is the integration of former Jets players. I know the likes of Job Wheelhouse, Nikolai Topper-Stanley, in and amongst those pre-academies and academies now, and then obviously being led by Damien Zane, Clayton Zane still involved as well. These pathways for our first team are going to become extremely important. I think one of the My biggest beliefs in Australian football is we need to become sustainable as a club. To become sustainable as a club, we need to not just invest money, invest assets into these academies. We need to invest our time, and that'll be a big part of my job moving forward. The investment of my time, my staff's time in being present, in recognising what's coming through, in recognising where we can help and assist only benefits us in the long run. I think in terms of pathways, it's very, very important that we establish a clear relationship with Damien and the rest of his team across with the academy. The biggest thing that I've found, especially over the last few years, is the players, when they come through, they need to be comfortable. They need to be comfortable in the environment, and we need to know that we see the best of them when they're coming through. Opportunities will definitely be there, especially for local talented players.